Hi guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to this new video. Today I have a hip opening yoga class for you. So let's get right into it. Let's start in a yogi squat. Your feet are flat on the ground, or if your heels are a bit inflexible today, no problem. Your heels can be lifted up a little bit. And then we extend one arm to the top and one arm down to the mat, and you look up. Breathing slowly and deeply here. And then switching to the other side. So place one hand on the mat and the other arm goes up into the sky, looking up and embracing the stretch in the hips. Bringing the hands back to the heart center and then coming into a butterfly pose, sitting on your butt, pulsing your legs up and down. And then once you're ready, slowly fold it forward, place your elbows on the mat and bend over. This yoga practice is hip opening, so it's perfect to prepare for your splits. Slowly coming back up out of your butterfly pose, coming into a lizard pose, and you place your hands on your hips. Your hips are shifted to the front of the mat, really leaning into your hips. Your shoulders are rolled back and you look up. And once you're ready, you come down on your elbows for a more intense stretch in the hips and the hamstring. Amazing, guys. This stretch can feel a bit intense, so if it's too much, you can either stay up or look for support for some blocks. Then sliding that right leg to the left side of the mat, coming into a pigeon pose. Your front leg is 90-degree bent and your back leg is completely straight. Sitting up with a straight back here. And on your exhale, you're gonna lower down to the sleeping swan. Yes, slowly walking your hands back up and coming into the other side, so the left side, into the lizard pose with your hands on top of your hips, really leaning into that front leg, into the hips, maybe pulsing up and down here, doing whatever feels right. And then, if it's available for you today, coming on your elbows for a deeper stretch in the hips and the hamstrings. And then walking your left leg to the right side of the yoga mat, coming into a pigeon pose, front leg 90-degree bend, back leg is straight and you look up. Your spine is upright, shoulders are rotated backwards. A neutral position. And on your next exhale, lower down to your sleeping swan. And here on every exhale, try to sink a bit deeper into the pose. Try to embrace the stretch a bit more. And don't fight against it, just let your body be. Slowly coming back up again. And then we're gonna place the legs a bit apart from each other. And we're gonna switch them over to the left side and then to the right side. So the knees flip to one side and the other side. to warm up the legs a bit more and the hips. And then we're coming into our frog pose. This is my favorite hip opening stretch because it's so intense. It's basically a split, but then with your knees bent 90 degrees. And this is the perfect preparation for your middle split as well. If you try to reach that one, I would recommend practicing the frog pose very often. We're gonna stay here for a little while, focusing on your breath, observing it, and connecting it maybe to the places in your body that need it the most at the moment. So maybe your hips, giving all the attention with your breath to the hips, and just being in the stretch for a moment. And then once you're ready, walk yourself back up again onto your downward facing dog, lifting your left leg up, opening up the hip by bending the knee, and then stepping your leg to the top of the mat, coming into a high lunge. And then we're gonna transition from a tree pose into a figure 4, and if it's available, squat it down for a deep, intense hip stretch here. And of course, we're also training the legs right now, the leg strength. Slowly coming up again into your tree pose and transitioning down to the lunge into your three-legged dog, and chaturanga down to a upward facing dog. Inhale, and on an exhale, downward facing dog. Doing the same on the other side. Lift your right leg up, bend the knee to open up the hip, and step your right leg in between your hands into a high lunge to the tree pose, into figure 4. And if it's available to you, squat it down, hands in front of the heart center. Good job, guys. Slowly coming back up again, transitioning down to your high lunge, into your three-legged dog and chaturanga down. Amazing. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose. Transition into your straddle pose. So your legs are extended to the sides of the mat and you lean forward. Maybe you can go with your chest on the floor, or maybe you can stay supported with your arms. Everything is good here, as long as you feel a little stretch in the hips, but it shouldn't hurt, of course. Yoga can be about challenging the body, but never going as far that it hurts. Because yoga is also a mind game, of course. And coming out of the straddle pose into a wide-legged child's pose, I like it that my knees are mat width apart, sending the hips back down and extending the arms to the top of the mat. Taking a moment here for a little rest, taking deep breaths. Connect to your breath and ease the mind. Being in your body and not in your mind at the moment. That's the beautiful thing about yoga. And slowly walking your hands and your hips back up, coming into a seated position. That was it for today already, guys. Placing your hands on your knees, I want to thank you so much for watching and joining me on the mat today. Very grateful that I could share my practice with you. So on an inhale, bring your hands up overhead. On an exhale to the heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one.